Hi, this is Mashi, and this is a September reading for the horoscope of Aquarius. So I'm really excited. This is the 11th horoscope. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna be doing the 4 weeks of September. Thank you all for being here and for supporting the channel. If you'd like a free reading or to support the channel in other ways, or if you want to know my Spotify music playlist, all of that is in the description below. So I'm actually going to just pause. Okay, so just got all that done. So this is the first week of September. Or actually, let's go with this stuff. Let's just flip them all over. How about that? Yeah. Ooh. Interesting. Wow. This is really cool stuff. Ooh. Ooh. It's interesting. So, over here is the outcome of September and sort of goals and things you have in mind. I feel like some of this is about goals and like have in mind, and others is like more so the outcome. So, well, that is a step forward. That's a step of its own, from the 10 of Swords to the 9 of Swords. Pretty much what I'm getting is your headspace, the goal for your thoughts, what you're thinking about is releasing pains, releasing fears, removing a sword from your back, so to speak, because that's what the 10 of Swords is about. This is going from a 10 to a 9. So, this is also knowing that your fears are making it difficult to see, and the outcome for September, there will be some of that still going on. But it's significantly different than the 10 of Swords. It's like, I think it'll make more sense when I go through the reading, but it's basically the overall outcome of September is releasing certain blockages that make way for fears for you to then have to work on releasing. But you'll have more steps on releasing those fears at the end of September, basically. And I think that's just your goal in general. I think you might know, like, yeah, you've got a long ways to go with this healing journey, but you do have a goal for what you can heal about it throughout the month, pretty much. In your headspace, you really do seem to know how to do the work and steps to go towards healing. But there's just a lot of healing to be done, is what I'm getting. In your heart space is the Black Panther, which is embracing the unknown. and then the Queen of Wands. So your heart space is the outcome of all this, and kind of your idea, like what you see the future going towards, is independent lifestyle, doing more for yourself, being on your path, feeling, your heart feels right about the path, but your mind will still kind of have fears about it. And your heart space also doesn't know what's gonna come next, but it's like, this is just where you're at. So you're kind of like this queen that is blind in the night, so to speak. So your heart space is basically also matching the Nine of Swords energy. There's some darkness, there's things that are unknown, but I feel like your heart is a little more sure than your head, than your mind. And then this is the supporting energy. The grounding energy is going to be on strengthening bonds. So to me, this is just strengthening yourself. That's what I'm getting from this, honestly. Strengthening yourself, strengthening yourself, you'll definitely see yourself strengthening bonds with those around you. But this is very self-focused, more about the healing for strengthening yourself. So that's the outcome of September, and I think goals in general. So in week 1, we've got the Ten of Swords, which not much explanation needed for the Ten of Swords. It's a card of feeling kind of like there's 10 swords in your back and you're just kind of left out to die. It's a really painful energy, where your thoughts are just everywhere. They don't know where to even begin, so to speak. I'm just describing the Ten of Swords and what it looks like. It's like from any approach, you just see yourself getting stabbed, like getting hurt when you think about things. So that's week 1 of September. I'm also hearing that energy, of course, it's not really new in general, I think. I feel like people in general kind of understand, like, thoughts can hurt. So what I'm mainly getting from this is that you are cycling this energy out, because all 10s in the deck of tarot can go to a 1, you know? So a Ten of Swords, I just see this being, I just see Spirit saying that you are cycling this energy out. It's basically the World card with this Ten of Swords, you know? So you are reaching an Ace of Swords, clarity, understanding, a single, like, you'll know which sword, so to speak, to pick and look at and understand. And so when that happens, this all clears up and there's just one sword remaining. And your heart space kind of follows that whole cycle completion. 9, the butterfly. This is the card of transformation. And then death is the card of transformation, transition, you know, that sort of stuff. So we basically get the same card in 2 different decks for your heart space. So you're definitely feeling a change. You are going through a change. I'm hearing for some of you it could be slow. For others of you, it's like going through rapid transitions, like the cycles of a butterfly, like from a cocoon, I don't know, to a butterfly. I'm sure there's more larvae, something like that. So you're going through these cycles, and then you become a butterfly, and then that's your death. So that's your heart space. Yeah. And then the grounding energy is that you are just being authentic to who you are. You're holding true to your path. You're doing you, pretty much. And by the way, I should have mentioned this earlier, but this reading is going to be pretty quick in comparison to my other September readings. The last 4 or something like that have been more on the quicker side, because I finally have an idea of how I want the readings to be. I like doing mind, heart, and I guess this is body, 3D world, advice from spirit, grounding energy, stuff like that. Basically root chakra stuff, you know, stuff for grounding. So anyways, week 2, your headspace is thinking about what you want. I feel like before week 2, you weren't able to picture or know or understand what it is that you really want out of this journey and everything. But with week 1, with your heart going through such rapid transitions, now that your heart basically has transformed and knows what it wants now, your headspace can be like, oh, okay, I get it now. I gotta work on myself and feel good with my thoughts and direct my thoughts towards my dreams. And then while you do that, suddenly your heart retreats a bit. And I feel like it retreats a bit because now that it's kind of leveled up, it's trying to be more practical and realize like, okay, crap, but there's still so many options. There's so many dreams, there's so many things I would want to do. What's like the one I should work on right now, so to speak? So you kind of retreat a bit as the weasel. I feel like your heart is now going through a reflective period. I feel like your heart is starting to open up a bit more. I feel like it's healed a lot from that butterfly death transition. So now it's kind of like opening up choices again, and your heart is like, what do I want? And then the grounding energy is from this, the root chakra, base chakra. Being practical is what I'm hearing for some reason. Think about what you like. I'm saying it again, what you want. Things that provide stability, pretty much. And what is your idea of stability? And then with that in mind is the grounding energy. I feel like that will help your heart know what decision it wants to make. And we see that carry over with week 3. Because the head, we get the chariot, someone who's determined, someone who knows where they want to go. You want to go forward. You want to go straight ahead. You don't want to go to the left or to the right. But these two Sphinx things, they both have minds of their own. They are both part of you, but they have different parts of your personality. And so they have to be balanced. You have to be able to put equal thought into both of them. Otherwise, one is going to go more in a direction than the other. And if that happens, you're not going straight forward. So your mind is very focused on balancing and going forward, whatever that means to you, and trying to figure that out. Your heart is doing well with the squirrel. I feel like you, as the weasel who retreated, you went and gathered your thoughts with your heart. You gathered evaluating how you feel. What do you want? I see that with the Queen of Cups, that you really did kind of figure out what you want out of these options. You're like, okay, I do still want some sort of love offer that I can provide and nurture another with. But not like nurture in the sense of, well, okay, yeah, nurture. Apparently that's the energy I'm getting. You want to grow a life with somebody. You want to build a life with another. Perhaps that's what it seems like your heart ends up going towards. But this could be a job. This could be like you're in love with your job. You just find something that you know you want to share your heart with, basically. It doesn't have to be a person. I feel like for many of you it's a person, but it's also everything, you know? It's not just that. It's like everything in life. And that has a lot to do with balance. Making sure you're focusing not on just like the idea of love, but I mean, yes, but like the idea of romantic love, but like, I don't know, romantic love for a job, romantic love for, you know, just like romanticize your whole life. What are all those things that you want in it? And so the grounding energy is manifesting, creating, being the magician of your world, because we are all creators of our own worlds. We are all creators in some aspect. We make things. So that's the grounding energy for week 3. Feeling really in your power, pretty much. Understanding you really can go in whatever direction you want to go in. And so week 4, I feel like you then get to work. And you realize there's a lot of problems with this. Other than just knowing what you want. What comes from that is realizing, there's a lot of conflict to deal with. Inner conflict, external conflict, but mostly inner conflict is what I'm getting. Thinking about, you're trying to do things, and you're realizing you want certain people to be a part of that, or you want certain aspects to be there, and you're realizing that those aspects are not just you, and so you are in a sense realizing that maybe you are trying to force things to go a certain way when it's not going to work because you're the only one carrying these wands. So your heart space really kind of follows that with the Rabbit of Fears. So week 3 is really good. You get this energy. Week 4, a lot of those fears, and that's what the Nine of Swords is, Darkest Fears, kind of comes in where you have to face your fears, and it's regarding that. Now that you do know what it is, the stuff that you want, and you do know you still want to go towards that, now you're like, okay, I have a lot of these fears, and there's a lot of, basically I'm hearing baggage, things from the past and or present too, just like you're trying to bring things with you and it's just not working, because you're trying to do this all on your own, so to speak. You can't force other situations and people to go with a certain plan. And this is not talking about necessarily people and stuff, but this is really self-focused as well, where it's like, like let's say this one wand is you wanting to, I don't know, go swimming, but then this other wand is like, oh, you don't know how to swim, and then this wand is like, oh, also you're afraid of water, and then this wand is like, oh, also your leg is injured that week. It's basically like a lot of things where you're like, right now you don't have the tools to, you do have the tools, like you can work at it, but it's like, it's a struggle. If you just look at it, how you can hold 2 wands and all the other ones are like being strung along. So it's basically like you're doing work, and then the grounding energy is trying to let things balance out, trying to let certain things go. This is detached, but this is the Justice card in the Major Arcana. So yeah, now this is a matter of the easiest thing for this to do is to just cut that string, release those burdens. I really feel like those wands are your fears or things you're afraid of happening. So that's why I mentioned this could be about people. So yeah, it's kind of like people oriented is what I hear. And so the end of September is really releasing a lot of that. And so that's why I see as the outcome. Headspace is very much thought or focused on those fears, realizing that, oh yeah, I was holding on to all these fears. And so your headspace, the outcome is really being able to identify that. Heart space is knowing, okay, I gotta work at that, and also knowing that, like, okay, you just have to keep going on this journey and find things along the way that will help you heal. Which is why I feel like the grounding energy is the material world, the Ace of Pentacles, strengthening bonds. You'll learn a lot from your surroundings. You'll learn a lot from the earth that you stand on, the people that you see, the experiences that you'll have. This energy helps you figure out, as a Black Panther, you'll be able to see through the night, so to speak, and learn a lot about how to keep releasing these fears. Yeah, so that's the message that I get for the month of September. Yeah, thank you all for being here. I hope these messages resonated. That's my version of short. Sending love and light to you all. Have a good night.